expiring, but FlyQuest are getting scrappy. Trying to keep control of the mid wave here if they can. No supers yet, as a reminder, so FlyQuest can push these waves back with relative ease as long as they're grouped together, especially if IMT aren't powering up the waves themselves. But the flip side is that IMT push very quickly with the Baron buff, so you can't leave your towers unattended for too long, as Raze is currently demonstrating.
They push quickly and they engage even faster. That's what they've found every time. Never really been 5 members of FlyQuest together. Only a few caught out a little bit far away, and so the fights become so much easier for them. Now that FlyQuest is entirely grouped, it's going to be much tougher for IMT to find that opportunity to immediately pick off a member and continue the engage.
And it does feel like that's been the big problem for FlyQuest. IMT have done a really good job of finding engages where FlyQuest aren't all bunched together, right? Because that's the fight you really don't want to take if you're IMT, where Karma's just enchanting the back line as the front lines are getting in the way, and Kindred and Tristan are shooting you forever. So done a good job avoiding that scenario so far. Going to be walking in here to try and take the inhib. Revenge, a little too far forward, forced to ulti out. Insanity, defensive Nocturne ulti there, does force FlyQuest away.
Okay, so maybe without that ultimate, FlyQuest feel a little bit more confident going for a fight. The problem is, they really don't have a way to engage. It's Immortals going in again.
Powerfox in problem. Destiny's found 2. What an ulti there. Jose Diodo, though, trying to save the day, but the ultimate's just not going to be enough. He does flash out to safety. Powerfox is there. Johnson's still out as well. He actually took out Destiny. But now they need Powerfox backs for the reinforcements. IMT still enough damage to take the mid inhib.
Critical ultimate from Jose Diodo. They might have just lost the game right there. So the worst thing that happens is they lose the inhibitor. They will also lose the dragon, but it looks like FlyQuest is trying to make a final stand here. Licorice TPs to the bottom wave. They want to defend this, but he's only him. There's no team behind him.
Bonus Scry's Bloom, not fast enough for the dragon. Jose roams back in, but they just can't join this fight. No ulti left for the Kindred, no ulti for Licorice. Nothing to find here as Raze grabs himself the blue buff. And FlyQuest going to be on defense for a little while longer with those super minions knocking through mid. And also this top pressure still there, but let's watch this one again.
An attempt onto Revenge's life, but a quick ultimate gets him out. And even though the paranoia doesn't actually contribute to this next engage, Destiny once again finds a great angle. Flash catches 2 members, both carries of FlyQuest. That is the dream engage for any support, but a critical ultimate from Jose Diodo. So much damage was laid on top of that. That game was almost lost, but they held on.
All right, well, still IMT staying aggressive. Blue buff does not get donated over. Good timing, though, for Raze. Just didn't quite have the aim as Powerfox pretty intelligently pulled the blue buff away from its usual spot. IMT, though, still applying that pressure. A minute left until the Baron is respawned. They'll be more than happy to waltz in there and take it.
Yeah, they are going to be really confident in defending this too, because for the past few minutes, Raze has been deadly. We talked about in Champs like the importance of denying the Ezreal Karma combination, but now you're dealing with 2 marksmen who are getting outranged by a single player in Raze. His Mystic shots are doing so much damage since the itemization for FlyQuest is mostly aggressive, and they just can't get onto him. So many times when you're up against Ezreal, you just want to try to find an avenue to engage upon him, but now it's really just up to Raze to overextend, to shift forward for you to kill him. So FlyQuest not only have to think about dealing with the engage, but then dealing with an Ezreal that has a 700 gold bounty on top of him.
All right, well, 2 minutes 40 until the inhib's going to respawn in mid, so FlyQuest just have to sit here in mid and try and push back the super minions. IMT, of course, want to go for this Baron. And I don't know if FlyQuest are going to be able to walk on in here. They don't have the vision right now. IMT have made sure to keep a hold on that. Raze even shifting around aggressively, just poking onto Dreams.
Not afraid of a Braum. There's no engage. There's no one that can actually pick him off, so he has no problem using his Arcane Shift aggressively. IMT has no problems looking for an engage if FlyQuest want to present that opportunity. They don't need the Baron to end the game, but Insanity has been spotted. Quickly backs away, though, knows that that Trinket Ward would have been his demise had he continued to march forward. They'll just take that forward pressure to go for the Baron. Does FlyQuest make it in time? Doesn't look like it, but they're still trying.
If FlyQuest know what's up, though, they did get the Scry's Bloom down. They're not going to grab the Baron, but can they get the team fight here is the question. IMT Looking to go back in again. Paranoia pop. Destiny with a great flank, but Johnson's going to flush himself out of there. Insanity diving back in there, but the damage might be a little too much. Big shield though on top of him as Johnson getting assaulted. Jose forced to pop the ulti, but they need to stay in the zone. So actually looking to duck them around. They find it as IMT re-engage beautifully, and it's absolute carnage. No chance at all for FlyQuest. It's IMT with a clean Bud Light ace.
It was a rough early game, but a dominant mid to late game from IMT, executing their team fighting so well. Destiny in particular took such advantage of Insanity's paranoia, finding the right angles for the Rakan to engage, putting FlyQuest in a tricky situation. They could never stand together. They could never coordinate how to deal with the attack from multiple angles, and IMT can feel like they had a 3-0 week. It wasn't quite 3-0s, but in all 3 games this week, they were in winning positions.
Definitely feels like it's trending upwards for them. FlyQuest, I like the look of the comp, but maybe I overestimated like the strength of it once you got to 30 minutes, because they got to 30 minutes and IMT just picked it apart.
Yeah, it was, I think, to me, Destiny was my pog. I feel like he was so critical in actually flanking so many times and finding those flash engages to make sure that then the rest of the team could follow up. They didn't want to use the Gragas to be the initial engage because he'd have to just go in and then Zhonya's or just get burned right away. But with Destiny going in right away, allowed the rest of the team to be follow-up, and it just looked so much better. So glad that we got his pro view for free for this game.
That's true. You can watch streams in Destiny. That was the free pro view for this game. Shout out to Insanity as well for being the lighting guy in this game. Perfect timing, basically. Shutting him off whenever Destiny was looking for an angle, made his job a little bit easier.
It's one of the funnest parts about Nocturne. You don't actually have to do anything. You just, I've already done my job, guys. I pressed R and I didn't go in. It's up to you now to win the fight.
I pressed R and didn't die. I did the right thing. What have you been doing?
Yes, that's what I tell my solo queue teammates, and they complain and don't let me play Nocturne the next game.
Well, it's very surprising, isn't it? Yeah, I can't like overemphasize how challenging that game looked at some points for IMT. Like, they were behind, but not by a lot. But it just didn't feel like there was an obvious way to like get through Bodyguard Braum, Tristana, Kindred plus Kindred ulti, Lee Sin kicking you away, and Karma just ready at full power every team fight.
Yet they found it, and I think the lesson this week has been, including CLG's 3-0 week, is the dominance of heavy engage. The fact that if you're trying to play Peel, it's just so difficult to engage and find the opportunities. You're always playing reactive versus IMT, who can always be finding the flanks, finding the fights that they want to spell on their own terms. And with every single member being interested in that game plan, it makes it so much easy for everybody to know what their game plan. We had moments where it was clear that FlyQuest didn't really know where everybody was supposed to be at. Licorice on Lee Sin, that's a confusing game to play Lee Sin. Who are you kicking away? At what timing? Who are you prioritizing? What about if the fight doesn't go the way that you expect it? A lot harder to play these compositions, and many, many more options in the hard engage.
It definitely feels like the burden of execution was a bit tougher, but now it's time to toss it over to the Tigress and Destiny for our Verizon post-game interview.
Hey everybody, we're here on the stage after the victory talking to Destiny, because what a hype match up for Immortals, though it did come down to some later game team fights. So what was this game like from your perspective?
It was a bit of a banger. Definitely came down to like team comp execution, playing Rakan and Gragas and trying to get onto the Kindred to blow her ult. It was actually a really hard game because I feel like they scaled very well. They had Kindred, Braum, like very strong front to back. So yeah, I'm just really glad that we won.
Yeah, how did that affect the way that you played the game later on, knowing they had the double marksman there, but you knew that Raze was getting strong, scaling into it?
Yeah, Raze was actually a really good Ezreal. It was one of his best champs in OS, and I'm probably leaking too much, but he's really good on the pick, and I'm glad that he got to finally play it on stage. Yeah, it was really hard. I had to be a bit more creative this game and look for flanks. In particular, I was hiding around the jungler. Their Braum was showing on mid-wave a lot, so I took advantage of that. But yeah, I was just trying to be sneaky and really annoying for them.
And that sneakiness has earned you player of the game for this matchup and this W. So tell me a bit more about your approach as a support, because we've seen you on the Thresh just kind of slamming those hooks, now on the Rakan, also engage, but does operate in a different way.
Yeah, I'd say that Thresh is a lot about protecting your AD carry, playing Lantern for him, looking for hooks over walls. But with Rakan, it's mainly around hitting your knock-up. If you hit up your knock-up and with the Charm and the ult, you pretty much want to play to one-shot everyone. That's pretty much the differences between the champions. In EU, I wasn't really allowed to play any other champion besides Nautilus, so it feels good to play new champs here in the LCS.
I know I might be asking you to leak anything, but is there a champ that you've been wanting to play that you've been barred against for so long?
I can't leak, or Gohoto will get really angry at me.
All right, that makes sense. Seems like a nice guy. We had him on the desk yesterday, but want to keep him happy.
Yeah.
So you as a team obviously working together very well. One part of this composition that did stay the same was kind of that top side, right? You had Viego, you had the Nocturne mid, you had the Gragas. How key was that to kind of honing in on what has been working for Immortals going into the victory here today?
Yeah, I feel like the Nocturne in particular has been one of our strong champs the past 2 days. It's worked out really well. The ultimate everyone doesn't know what to do, what's going on. Like, they can't look at each other's computers. Like, it's too in the moment. So, yeah, I'd say our top side played really well this game. They played off waves and used their ultimates really well. Once Viego got a reset in the fight, like, he would just clean up everything. So, no, I'm just really happy that our team was really able to pull out the win today, because obviously the TSM win loss was really sucked.
But teamwork makes the dream work. It worked today. Yeah. I always got to shout out your team, too, that does stay on by to go and watch the interviews and support one another. Yeah, hi, everybody. And thank you so much for taking the time on the stage.
No worries. Thank you for the interview.
We do have one more game to go on the opposite side of this break. GG is taking on EG. You don't want to miss it. Let's wrap this week strong, baby. See you there.
Guys, speak.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
It's Xiao 6.
Oh, it's fighting mid.
They're coming. I'm coming.
They're coming mid. I flash.
Yeah.
I ulted out.
It's only
I start moving up. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
They don't have jungler.
Leona ulti.
Oh, they're better.
Getting barreled.
I could go.
I'm going on GP.
Nice. I'm on Viego.
Viego.
Oh, here, Papa. Hit up there. You guys need to make time. Okay, nice.
That's
Good
it.
job.
Okay. Can we get Baron?
Okay, ready?
I'm ulting here.
Oh, okay, no, you play. Come on. Can you clear?
Close.
Front to back it. Reset.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Don't flash.
Oh.
Aatrox.
Oh, we got it. Nice.
Okay, nice.
Wait, Kai'Sa.
Yeah, kill Kai'Sa.
Kai'Sa, no flash.
No flash.
Yeah, Kai'Sa no play. I killed the Kai'Sa. Yeah.
There's no reset.
Yeah, we kill.
You're gonna next guys.
Rumble.
GP.
Yeah.
GP guys,
GP.
GP. Okay.
Viego.
In the
What
hand.
is this?
Yeah, Rumble can one shot you already.
I mean,
In the shroud.
I never went for items again. I don't have experience.
Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk. We've got Evil Geniuses facing off against Golden Guardians in our final game of the day. And if we pull up our Samsung SSD Fast 5 leaderboards, we can see which of our members from each of these teams are really standing out here on the Rift.
Yeah, nice to see Jizuke up there with the fastest mythic item, and I think Jizuke in particular, this is a great meta for him because you can pay melee carries in mid lane, you can play the Akali in the mid lane. So for a guy who likes to play so aggressively, he's always pushing the limits of his champion. This is a perfect kind of meta for him to do that. So nice Jizuke.
And for Gold Guardians, we have Chime with the second fastest item transformation. But I want to give a little bit of props to Solo just because a lot of his players have called him out. I'm actually kind of slightly surprised that he's fastest in 100 CS because I was checking his stats before this, and they're pretty they're middle across the board, right? So
Yeah.
he's solid, and that's kind of exactly what this team needed was someone to be stable and make things a little less volatile in the top lane. Something that's kind of interesting is that the team has really credited him for bringing a lot of stability and veteran kind of leadership to this team, which I think is interesting because previously I think he had a little bit of a reputation in the community, and to see that he's matured and helping lead this team is actually really awesome.
I think absolutely, and everything fair to say there. Again, that has also kind of caught my attention. The way that the rest of the team speaks about him, not only in his individual play, but in a leadership role, how they've attributed a lot of their late game shot calling and organization as a team to him. But of course, he doesn't have an easy task today. If we look at his opponent in the top lane, Kaizen, it's Impact, one of our favorite guys to talk about because of a lot of similar things. He provides stability to a team. He allows for, direction in the mid to late game and a reliable source from the top lane.
Yeah, and we always talk about Impact as a rock in the top lane, but I think we're gonna need some sort of new metaphor or analogy for him because now he's not just playing rocks, he's playing spears and kunai and all kinds of stuff.
He's a full armory.
He's a full armory, right? He's got all kinds of different weapons. The Kali look, the Gwen look. These are not looks we typically expect from Impact, but it looks like in the off season, EG decided, hey, look, this guy is not just consistent on these bruisers. He's really excellent on these carries as well. So let's just give him a carry role.
He's also got the dopest hair of all the players right now in the LCS. Just going to throw that out there. Emily, what will Solo have to do to challenge Impact in this game?
I mean, it's kind of tough because even if he makes the lane super volatile, Impact's really good at dealing with pressure, right? So I think it's going to be about both of them somehow getting it out of laning phase in a good spot to be able to contribute to team fights later on. And depending on the matchup, I think that if they're going to find an advantage, that's where Solo would have to find the advantage. But then for both of these top laners, actually, not even just Impact, but Solo as well, I feel like their value to the team comes out of lane. Yeah,
that makes perfect sense to me. So we'll be looking for both of them to make an effect on the rest of the map. And while we do gear up for Golden Guardians versus Evil Geniuses, you can join Riot and the LGBTQ+ community in celebrating Pride Month. Inclusive games mean a better experience for everyone. And while we can't march this year, we can certainly celebrate in-game. All of our games, including League and Valorant, will have Pride content such as emotes, player cards, and more. Equip your content and show your support for the LGBTQ+ players everywhere. We'll be doing that here in the studio. Hope you're doing it at home. And for now, we're going to a break. When we come back, it's Evil Geniuses versus Golden Guardians.
They've got to get the Mountain Drake here if they want to have any chance of being able to salvage this game, but no! It's stolen away at the last moment with a beautiful smite to end this game. GG, well played.
Welcome back to the Caster Desk. I am Julian Pastry Time Card, joined by my faithful companion, Alberto Crumbs Rengifo, almost tricked me there, and we're on a very important mission. We're teaming up with the White House to continue to spread awareness about COVID-19 vaccinations. Getting vaccinated is the quickest way for us to get back to normal. And if you are here in the States, the vaccine is free and available to everyone. So if you're able, check out those resources on your screen and get yourself a vaccine. Flowers and Kobe are on a mission for butts in seats at the LCS Kobe. But I, for one, am excited to see all of your faces with us once again.
I think the trippiest thing for me is that we're teaming up with the White House. I mean, that is just some amazing things, and things are opening up here again in California, so we're almost there.
Feels good, man. Feel even better. The LCS studio is filled with people once again. I guess so we can get TSM chance back. That's what the people want.
The people have wanted TSM chance at every game.
They do it anyway. You know.
Yeah.
They're at their computers. They're chanting TSM and Discord parties.
It's easy to chant. It's easy to chant. When you select the team name for anybody that's making a team out there, you got to keep in mind how it's going to be chanted. That three-letter acronym, abbreviation, whatever you want to call it. It's just so easy. It rolls off the tongue.
All right, well, instead we have 2 teams and 3 Gs, GG versus EG, for our final game of the day. Evil Genius is feeling like, I guess, the team we expected them to be. Is that a fair thing? Definitely have had some up and down games, but looking more up this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that EG is a team that still kind of retains the same identity as it was before. Very explosive now. You just have an AD carry that backs it up and at least has the mechanics to follow through with Jizuke, with Svenskeren. And I feel like this lineup is always on the cusp of breaking through with their potential. They're just about to hold on to enough consistency to have a really solid week, and this one was almost one of them. It was unfortunate, though, that they met a loss run over by the CLG pain train that showed up this week. No one saw that one coming. 100 Thieves, top team in the league right now, didn't see it coming. So we can excuse that out of Evil Genius, who seems to have one of the better weeks in their 3-week stint thus far.
It's one of those things, right, where EG games are often very exciting, but I think especially for an EG fan, probably make you very anxious.
Yeah.
Because you never really know how it's gonna go.
You love watching the Jizuka Pro View. Who doesn't? Who really doesn't? I mean, you love it for all reasons behind it, because half the time you can't even do what he's doing. The guy's actually very good.
Yeah, Jizuke, excellent player. Again, I think EG continually show their ceiling in a lot of their good games, right?
And their floor.
And also their floor, right? So that's
the real estate team.
You're trying to, you know, split the difference a little bit more and hope you end you know, on the higher end of your play. On the other side, though, for Golden Guardians, definitely a team that is, like, still building, still growing, but already has shown some pretty good signs of life. Obviously, their task to make playoffs is exceptionally challenging, right, given the spot they started from, with the records lasting all year long. There's almost, what, 39 regular season games?
That's a lot of
games.
games.
The whole year, that's a lot of games. GG have a lot of, see, it's going to happen. GG have a lot of climbing to do in order to get there, but I'm definitely curious if they can show up today. Blaze Olive especially. I cannot and will not stop singing the man's praises. He has been a fixture of Academy and North American talent for a very long time, and it's honestly about bloody time that people have looked up to this player and said, oh, he's really good.
I'm enjoying how many games from Golden Guardians' wins have come off the back of a Bloliv. That's his abbreviation. He said it himself.
True. It is
in
a
the
Bloliv
interview. It was asked. It has been confirmed, so you guys will have to deal with it with him.
No way Dash made him say that.
Right.
Definitely him.
That's not how it works.
100%.
Anyways, though, he has been really good on a lot of meta picks. Mechanically, he had some solid Viego games, some good Zoe performances, and so it's good to see that these teams at the bottom are actually finding players to play through, champions that allow them to shine, and thus making their game so much easier. So even though that road to playoffs is grim, it's not paved, it's got a lot of rocks and broken glass on it, well, they can still put on some good shoes to walk it home.
Yep, now they got Evil Geniuses in the pathway, which, again, definitely never an opponent that ever is easy. I feel like whoever ends up with Evil Geniuses in the playoffs as their first round opponent is going to be like, uh-oh.
Because you know how to prepare. You just don't know how to prepare against Evil Geniuses.
They don't know how to prepare.
Right.
No,
That's evil. That's the evil thing about it. No one actually knows how to deal with Evil Geniuses. So, in the words of every single pro player's interview, you just got to play your own game. If you play your own game, you'll have the better chance at actually winning. It just puts the focus onto you. And we actually heard in my favorite interview from this week from Huni, where we were talking about the backdoor. It's like, what was it like for you? Were you tense? Like, I didn't even look at our base. I was just focused on my mission, focused on hitting the nexus, and that's what these teams need to be doing if they actually want to be playing their own game, just focusing entirely on their own improvement and trust that the results will be there.
See, my favorite interview was Emily Rand's lightning round. If you missed it, I'm sure you can go back and check it out from yesterday's show with Danny, who's just, you know, adorable. Doesn't really fit the Evil Genius brand. Maybe the Genius part, the Evil part, not so much. But I guess Jizuke is doing all the overtime for the brand value.
That's what real evil wants you to think, right? There's no evil.
True.
It's like, entirely nice on the outside, but evil behind behind shadows and closed doors.
Svenskeren embraced at least, you know, his brand pillar.
Live evil hashtag.
Hashtag live evil, banging game. You know, Impact. You know, Impact's a pretty nice guy.
Yeah,
Igno has the streak. You know, he's definitely got Evil Genius on lockdown, I think.
Verver Leona will always be evil. That's just something that no one on the good side would ever come up with. And Impact even has I mean, it's not really evil. I believe he's got a solo queue tower in Korea, Impact Tower, where people go play solo queue and just boot camp there.
Damn.
Yeah. That's that World Cup money right there.
All right. Well, we'll be in Champ Select shortly. Don't worry too much. I promise it is on the way. As soon as it is available, we'll get it to you. We're not holding anything from you, I promise.
2 games in a row, Pastry.
Not
We're just
withholding
holding
draft
the
from
game
you.
hostage.
You know what? This is good. This is the seeds of our future podcasts. Hope you all enjoyed story time in the last game, by the way.
Well, you know, if
You
our
could check that
podcast
out if you missed
is
it.
ever about baking or food, as we are,
Or
both,
old League of Legends
or
games.
old League of Legends,
We're
games,
ready.
it would actually just be entirely savory things, as both salty attitudes towards the games that I have lost, and also in my preference of pastry and baked goods.
Alrighty, here's Champ Select. Golden Guardians on the blue side. Gwen are out of there. Banned by GG. Lulu also banned on the Evil Geniuses side, and I imagine Karma's going to be in the mix somewhere. So I feel like EG already declaring what kind of game it's going to be, and that won't have any enchanters in it, Crumbs.
Yeah, they've seen too much because the Lulu works so well with the Kog'Maw. Like the Karma in the solo lane won't be allowed either, so they just want nothing to do with either of these picks. So Golden Guardians, though, still have plenty of options to first pick. You've got the likes of the Lee Sin. You can always go after Rumble, seems to be a pretty high priority, but I think that this pick will slowly come down as these other junglers are finally getting comfortable with the likes of the Dianas, the Fiddlesticks, just answers to the meta. Xin will be banned, so maybe there seems to be a pinch out of the jungle pool here from Golden Guardians. No matter what, though, I think that their strategy should allow a Blaze Olive to be the crown jewel of it. He's delivered thus far. Stay on that path. Let this man be your star.
Ooh, Ezreal ban. It's going to be a very different game. Kind of a lot of, meta picks right now being taken off the board here in Phase 1. So, I mean, Lee Sin's available. That feels like the most obvious first pick, but we'll see what happens here. Akali, the other ban there for Golden Guardians. Just to catch us up a little bit on what's been happening. Rumble, though, going to be the selection here.
Okay, I mean, banning out a pick that Svenskerian's been really prioritizing with the Xin Zhao, but I don't think that this player will shy away from Fiddles, from Diana. These champions aren't particularly too difficult mechanically. It's more about how to play the early game with your team and looking for the right angles to engage. So Golden Guardians just saying, we want to get this out of here right now. We think the Rumble is our biggest priority, and we don't think that Svenskerian will actually have one of these picks under his champion pool. So I'm curious to see if Evil Geniuses has it prepared, though. It's got a lot of success in a lot of other regions, a lot of other leagues. So Golden Guardians is playing with fire by taking Rumble and leaving the rest of the pool available.
I actually really like Senna first pick for EG. I think Danny Senna's pretty good. I think the way EG want to play, Senna's a really good champion for them in general because she can support, Jizuke diving in. The other thing I just really like is, even with something like a Tom Kench here, Ignar just getting more farm means if you're, say, going Locket to maybe counteract the Rumble, you just get gold so much more efficiently that, it's a realistic thing for you to get the Locket relatively quickly, and then Rumble feels significantly more useless in team fights. So very safe round 1 here for EG, taking their bottom lane duo very early, but I do in general like Senna in EG's comps.
Yeah, true. It really synergizes with players that want to be hard diving, especially if they want to be playing cross map. If you want to be looking at top side as your focal point, well, the Senna ultimate can really help out, and even the Tom Kench can start to roam later. The one aspect that I think ends up hurting EG's natural tendencies is that Ignar is such a good flanker that putting him on the champion that isn't looking for these engages and putting him on the back with a Tom Kench just looking for peel might not be the best way for Evil Geniuses to let every other player shine. But if right now, if what they've practiced involves him taking the back foot and the rest of the team putting the carry pants on, then more power to them. They've done well this week.
Varus Viego there for Golden Guardians. Nocturne, that's the last pick of Phase 1 for EG. But I do like what you're saying there, Crumbs, right? The downside of this kind of bottom lane is that you do shift the agency all towards the top side, and Ignar is typically a player that you want to give some sort of playmaking champion on. So there are obviously options there. Tom Kench, at least at a map level, with his ulti, especially as he gets ranks in it, can affect play in general a lot, but this is going to be a lot about Jizuke, Svenskerian impact. What top side trio do they assemble to try and attack Golden Guardians top side, and how effective can they be at using whatever tools they draft to attack Golden Guardians, who are also going to be pretty strong in that side as well. Renekton banned by EG though, LeBlanc banned there by Golden Guardians, and one more ban left for EG. It's going to be...
support. I think Nautilus, even though you're going to send a TK, could still be very dangerous. The Devour isn't as good as protecting you if you actually get to land a multi-man depth charge, and it would synergize very well with solo. So you already do have the Varus to set you up, but we've seen that there is no such thing as too much engage. So if Golden Guardians already is playing with that identity, it wouldn't hurt to go and have another champion in that direction. They are banning out themselves of what they think Evil Geniuses really wants to round out their composition. The LeBlanc as a last pick, obviously a very dangerous pick for Jizuke, fits his playstyle and mechanics perfectly, allows him to go in, back off, assassinate members, play the side lanes, and it's something that has been making a return in the LCS. We've seen PoE, I believe we've seen even Perks pick it up again, so this is a pick that'll slowly get a lot of respect as players get used to dealing with LeBlanc once again.
All right, well, it looks like Gragas jungle. Nocturne, as expected, is looking to be a laner here. Could be for Impact or Jizuke. I think either player would be more than happy with the champion. Golden Guardians, though, have things kicked back over to them and do have to make a selection for their 4th and 5th picks of this game.
I like how Stixxay has committed all the years of his
the
professional
Warwick
career to the Warwick cover. He has not backed down from that one at all. I don't know anybody else who has such a dedication to a specific champion hover, so kudos to him.
I like the set here. Definitely a very good solo laner here. Chime, looking at Rakan, I imagine that's where he's going to land on. Bard would be cool. Obviously a very, very good on that champion, but going to go for Rakan here instead.
Full engage, full dive. I mean, you don't have an AD carry that can necessarily assist you with the dive, but he can assist from the far. He can engage on his own as well and set you up too. So the Varus does have a lot of value here. So curious to see how they will play around Stixxay, because there is a world where you over dive and then champions like Nocturne and Gragas can just get past the initial engage and kill your Varus while you have been focusing on the other lanes. Evil Geniuses will round out with a Lucian, though, for Jizuke. We have seen him be very aggressive, sometimes to his own demise with this pick, but they will be banking on him getting those early leads, because this champion will struggle when everybody's just dogpiling on top of him, trying to engage. So the early game for Evil Geniuses will be crucial for them to maintain the advantage that these double marksmen need in order to not get blown up mid-game.
All right, well, comps are done. Both, again, as kind of anticipated, both top sides looking pretty scary on either side. Definitely feels like, you know, more bruises, more engage for the Golden Guardians top side, kind of support the Rumble pick, whereas it does feel like, once again, Jizuke is going to be the big pick, at least early on, because he does want to snowball from the early game into the mid game, although Impact can have a lot of that on this Nocturne as well.
I like putting your eggs in the Jizuke basket. Now, some would say that the Lucian...
You know?
Yeah.
It's a little...
Right.
It's precarious.
Right, it's a wobbly basket, and you are on a bicycle on a pebble road. But sometimes you make it. Sometimes you make it with all the eggs, and that makes it even more impressive. So the Lucian is just a pick that can be punished dearly when he dashes in forward. But his laning phase is, I think, what a lot of the team really likes to play around him. He's constantly getting a lot of farm. In the game this week where they beat Cloud9, his laning phase was superb. Lots of farm going his way. So if they want to play that more controlled style and just have him shine in that way and hold him back, just somebody hold him, don't let him go in, you will get yourself a lead. And up against a melee champion in the mid lane, there is that option to just build a lead and not be tempted to go in.
Yeah, I was going to note that as well. Bloliv going to have a tough one here, getting counterpicked by Jizuke. Was going to be a tough matchup regardless, but Diego here, we'll see how he does up against the Lucian. This Chime is chilling out. Actually does complete the recall. Does have a sweep in out. So we've got the early war done. Go ahead and swap the trinkets.
Going to be chilling. It's the Rakan that loves to go for the engages. We've seen the laning phase be pretty good with the Rakans that we've seen thus far. This has been the week where he's really made a return, making a mark as a premier engage support. And what I love about him that other engage supports don't have, that were previously in the meta, where it was the Leona, the Nautilus, and even the Alistar, is that it's actually really difficult to pick him. To catch a Rakan out by himself, you often have to have an overwhelming amount of crowd control or him to actually misplay. So it makes it so that if the meta revolves around two teams trying to engage upon each other, then the supports are one less option that you can go after. So he actually gets to be very aggressive in his positioning and guaranteeing yourself those flank angles that we've seen him be so known for.
All right, well, big leash here from Chime at 6-8. Kind of getting a lot of help here early on in the jungle. Gonna go ahead and full clear his red side by the looks of things. Svenskeren leashless on his same side. Looks like Wolves into blue buff by the looks of things. Is Danny already getting that poke down? There we go. Svenskeren waddling onto the blue.
Yeah, and so we'll see if he actually paths this down to the bot side. You could be expecting Stixie and Chime to try to be aggressive on this and go for a little sneaky gank early on, but there's always the option of just power farming. I do like a lot of the jungle changes that have allowed, I think, the meta that currently is to really thrive, just making the junglers look for more creative pathing that does open up lanes to be potentially a bit weaker. If you can devote more jungle attention to them early on, it makes it so that you can get away with more variety in your lanes and thus more variety in your whole composition.
Well, I think Blaze Olive is copping it here from Jizuke in mid. It's tough, but you know, this is kind of to be expected, right? Press the attack Lucian, wants to constantly harass you. Olive doing a decent job of keeping the CS respectable as the minions get pushed towards his tower, but definitely going to be a challenge. We'll see just how much of an advantage Jizuke can open up just from the lane phase. As topside, once again, Nocturne and Set do battle. Very nice W there from Solo, actually. Impact straight up losing that trade.
Has a level up. Now Impact hits level 3 and will have spell shield, so Solo took advantage of that one, and he's gonna have to slow push this wave, time it with his rumble so that he doesn't expose himself to a Svenskeren gank. If you can just have a really big wave building up, it's so easy to defend yourself from the 2v1 gank that usually comes around the scuttle spawn. So let's see if Svenskeren uses the knowledge that his own top laner has given him to actually wait and bait Iconic into the mix, but he doesn't fall for it.
Very nice from Iconic. Pops the Scry's Bloom sense. Skaren's getting in there. Kind of awkward because mid lane from his side can't join, but his top lane is here first. So actually Danny roaming up as well. This is basically a support roam. Blaze Olive going to see him, but can't really get too aggressive, and I think Golden Guardians just have to leave.
Yeah, that's the support. Normally you'd think, oh, why is the AD carry here? But that is just the support Senna. And guess what? You actually get some value out of that one. Gonna get a soul. Value of the soul for Danny. It's one of the key things to note when you're playing Senna. Just follow your jungler around. Get some extra souls. Make sure that you keep stacking those because you're gonna get that extra golden range no matter what.
Yeah, it is Farm Kench in the bot side for Ignore. And doing actually really well in the 1v1 currently because Chime left the lane temporarily. Ooh, Danny's actually going for the double Scuttle Crab. Ooh, he's setting it up for the jungler. What a nice guy.
This is a end game screen as Svenskeren. You are giving a thumbs up to Danny.
That's the smite, and Iconic gets 0 Scuttle Crabs.
Already has 13 stacks. Love that we can actually see that at the bottom left of your screen. Just zoom in, use your eyesight, or get a little closer to the screen if you can't see her, or if not, we'll tell you.
Exactly. Crumbs will keep you updated. Don't worry about it, everyone. That's his, he has taken responsibility for that.
I got it.
For the rest of the...
I will let you know. I will constantly be on the lookout for the Senna stacks because it is very interesting and, in fact, quite important to how Evil Geniuses wants to play.
All right, well, Solo face breaks Impact, but face seems just fine. Actually, just pushing the wave in. As Solo will collect all of these. He'll be up in CS, actually. Oh, he's going to freeze the wave. Sneaky boy.
Yeah. And this could actually allow him to hit level 6 before, but he will be pushing it now, so it will be slowly pushing in his favor. He's going to have to start pushing this one pretty fast now. He doesn't want to start building a wave that will not be held under Impact's turret. So
he knows.
It crashes.
Yep, you were correct. It was, he pulled the wave to push it, slow push it, now it's to fast push it. Top lane is hard. But wave benefit done nicely there for Solo at the end of it all. Impact, though, does at least get the opportunity to walk back to lane, so we'll have the TP available. And given that he is, you know, on the way to level 6 relatively swiftly, we'll have the option of potentially TP plus ulting into a play later on.
I think that play would still be bottom, even though Chime might not be the easiest target to go after, and the same thing with Ignar. The marksmen are just so easy to catch for both teams. So plays in the bot side seem to be a priority for both these squads as the top laners hold on to the very important teleport, and this often benefits the Nocturne. Just being able to TP in and pop that ultimate makes sure that Solo just can't follow. So they will have the ability to have a numbers advantage and set up a play, especially post 6. If Svenskeren has his ultimate available, there is just so much burst. Stixate will not be able to survive.
Blaze Olive trying to hold on here in mid lane. As expected, it is tough. Jizuke up about 18 minions or so. So it's called 2.5 waves. Definitely respectable there for the Lucian. We can call it 20 as a Blazov. Doing what he can, but again, it is just tough to get farm in these situations, especially with Danny continuing to roam up and find souls.
I'm loving this roaming Senna. Still playing as a support. He's normally the AD carry, so here as the support, though, actually making sure that he is fulfilling the warding duties that normally would be on Ignar's side. So he's just making sure that his mid laner is entirely covered. Top side is going to be safe, though, so Golden Guardians can get a dragon here while they clear out the ward, knowing that Danny was MIA and nobody will contest. They're happy with that one. They do get an objective pretty early on, though. I think the average time we're seeing dragons is around 9 to 10 minutes, so this early dragon should benefit them as they will be able to team fight very quickly with that Rumble equalizer that is always the nightmare of dragon team fights.
Ulti's coming along, but not quite there yet for the junglers. TP back in for Jizuke, has a Noon Quiver ready to go. Probably going Gale Force because it's a good item and he's Jizuke, but plenty of options if you do want to mix it up a little with Lucian.
There is a lot of tankiness on the side of Golden Guardians, but I do think the Gale Force just gives you a lot of value with how much mobility is going to be coming your way. There's a lot of things that you need to be dodging away from or dashing in. It does let you be aggressive with your dash and then reposition with your Gale Force. Things like Stixay's ultimate, even the equalizer, or just solo are so important that you don't get hit by that. The value of a Gale Force in these team fights just goes through the roof when the entire composition is built around catching you.
All right, well, Jizuke got the blue buff, so life is made even better. Looks like a support item upgraded there for Danny. Svenskeren lying in wait, but on a ward. Going to make this mission tricky.
His belly is too large. Doesn't actually allow him to see that he is under vision. So Golden Guardians gets a free Herald out of that one. That's one of those really great plays that you thank your support or whoever placed that ward that makes it so that you don't actually fall for that. Good ult from a Blaze Olive.
Yep, traded ult basically there in mid, but has to get out. That does mean the Herald's not as safe anymore. Blaze Olive trying to get the cannon, should be able to do it, but losing plates here to Jizuke. Now the Herald's going to go. Svenskeren just a touch too late. Iconic level 6 as well. Svenskeren might find an angle, but bottom side is where the pressure is. Tonglish hits Stixay, Chime gets the knock up. Exhaust down, Ignite is walking forward here. Now the heal forced out. Nocturne ulti popped, and it's top side. Back we go as Iconic is the one getting dove and slain as Impact grabs first blood.
Pings went out from that Rift Herald. They knew it was a two-man operation from Golden Guardians, and the key thing was Svenskeren stayed tracking him. He's got the Predator boots. He can really chase down Iconic, and once Impact gets in range of the ultimate with the cast from Svenskeren, as we can see that it is on cooldown, he has no way out. It's going to be a big bounty as a reward for Evil Geniuses. Being able to deny this top side of the camp allows Nocturne to know that there's going to be safety in his lane. Let's see how Svenskeren actually chased this one down, because Iconic goes back to try to catch this one. I think the only play out would have been to flash over the blast cone and group up with Solo, but he splits up, gets slowed down. He's now in range, flashes in, but normally after the Gragas ultimate he wouldn't have been in range of Impact's ult, but because Impact got to press Rumble right before he flow, he actually extended his range of the ultimate and was able to catch up to him.
Yeah, nice and easy there for Impact. Does grab himself first blood. Mid lane Chime is here, but there is no Jizuke to gank. Pretty tricky to kill Lucian that has flash available, but it's nice for them to show a little bit of presence here as Chime is now hit level 6. Danny not quite there yet. He's kind of the equivalent experience indicator on EG's side. Golden Guardians actually trying to line up something here in mid. Iconic's almost got ulti ready, but Svenskeren's here to answer. Iconic been spotted already.
Oh.
Predator pop, tongue lash shot. Chime trying to save him. Ulti's pretty good, but there's the Devour out of Ignar. Now Chime dancing around, finds the charm into Jizuke, but Ignar has already taken down Iconic. And EG will just counterpunch there. GG get nothing.
Sweet roam there out of EG. The whole bottom lane is here. They still have even more ultimates available, and they're punishing Iconic. His flash was down from that earlier play. The second they see him overstep, Svenskeren pops the Predator boots, burns the flash, and Ignar is right there behind him. A really good pick, and every time they've caught him, they take jungle camps away. They set up vision deep in the jungle. There's a TP from Solo, though. They're trying to catch out Danny, who can't flash over, but he's caught by himself.
Solo, hello. Nicely played there. There's the pullback. There's the knock up from Rakan, and Stixay finds the arrow through Danny's face. will go ahead and collect that kill.
It's a tricky one, though. You committed a lot of members for a single pick on Evil Geniuses, and they still got plates on the Nocturne top side. So look at the vision. They see Iconic. He doesn't want to run top because he knows he's going to get caught by Svenskeren, thinks that the ultimate was down, or available rather, then gets flashed upon, and then the final lick from Ignar. Stixxay needed to block that, but he just threads the Raptors. Really nice stuff there from Ignar, securing that extra kill onto the Rumble.
Skill shot accuracy looking good for Ignar. Not surprising.
Yeah.
From the Blitzcrank Nautilus Thresh player. Not the same impact exactly. Hitting the Q, but enough for the kill, which is nice. As the Blaze Olive still trying to do his best farming, but Jizuke is just like perma pushing you in. Everyone keeps showing up to your lane. He has Gale Force finished now. In fact, he just activates. A couple more crits would have maybe found a kill.
That's why he wants Gale Force. It's not for the repositioning pastry. It's for the damage. It's for the
Repositioning
burst.
toward the opponent is still a reposition, Crumbs.
But you mainly want the damage. You want another way to burst them down.
All right, well, topside Rift Herald popped there. Iconic did prepare this one earlier, so it is nice for them to cash in and get some gold back. They are behind 2,000 gold before this play, and they'll get all these plates and a bunch of gold back. Try and bring that one. Instead, EG will just trade, taking the Mountain Dragon away for themselves. So gold evens up a little. Herald's going to get an extra charge to threaten the tier 2, but Impact's here to defend it, so that should be fine. Chime, though, actually. Good threat there around the top side, as Ignar and Danny are going to work on this outer tower here in bot lane.
I think EG's happy with this trade. They got the Dragon, and they're still getting plates in the bot side. It's not like it's 14 minutes yet, so there's still nobody in the bottom lane. They're going to be missing a few plates, but they got a lot out of it. So it was about time that Golden Guardians would make a counterplay, as EG had committed to the move earlier in the game, catching out the Rumble. But if they get this whole tower, that charge into Tier 2 is going to be meaningless for how this game plays out.
Yeah, unfortunately, just couldn't stay top. Solo trying to defend. Good devour there out of Ignar, and now Solo's actually getting attacked here. There is no help coming in time. Svenskeren actually here first. Now Solo a little bit too far forward. Danny, though, going to miss that skill shot as the rest of Golden Guardians are descending on the bottom lane.
Yes, they're about to rain upon the Evil Geniuses, but there is a ward at the river that did actually catch out a Blaze Olive and Iconic roaming down. So they know that had they overextended for that turret, and it was very close. If that turret was a little bit healthier, you might have seen Danny and Ignar greed out for it and give up a few kills. But they don't, and as a result, EG not only answer the Rift Herald play properly, but they're also getting some farm in the top side. Impact crashes the wave and gets to back off.
Solo smacking the turret. Can't do that for too long, though. Oh, there's a teleport.
There's nobody to really follow.
Impact unfortunately couldn't spell shield soon enough, but Solo's just trying to get out of here, and unfortunately his team is not here first. In fact, Svenskeren going to cut off Iconic, but Solo may be able to get away. No, in fact, his Impact is able to take him down, but Chime does at least clean up the counter kill, but here comes Jizuke and friends. Chime has absolutely nowhere left to go, and it will be 2 for 1 in favor of EG.
Multiple members of EG commit to that play. Everybody wants to be involved. The TPs, the ultimates, you still have the Senna, and the Tahm Kench ultimate used really well. Initially, it looked like EG was not going to be able to assist in that fight, but when you reposition with the Tahm Kench, they're able to get even more members nearby, and well, they actually end up getting 2 kills for it. A Blaze Olive has been split pushing and will get a turret for his troubles, but so will Jizuke, so EG ends up winning out big time.
The gold is only getting better for EG's mid laner here. He is almost 1,000 gold ahead of the next closest person, which is Impact, which feels pretty good.
You love to see your own teammates be the next members in line with that gold source. So Solo just gets a few fists into the turret, but realizes, wait a minute, I might be really out of position here. And so with the teleport there from Impact, tries to suplex it, but doesn't actually cover enough of a distance. The wall gets him further back, or not as far back as he would have thought. Tries to turn it around, but a good use of the flash and then ultimate from Impact gets the kill.
And as you mentioned, Ignar letting Jizuke into that fight means he cleans house, claims 2. Oh, 1 only, as Svenskeren actually got the other one onto Chime, but still, we'll take the assist here. Still happy in the mid lane here, almost up to 2 items very swiftly. Still 30 CS clear of his mid lane opponent.
Take the assist and the experience in the deny. You do get to make plays with the Nocturne ultimate, and it's that ability to shut off the enemy from actually assisting, from knowing where the fight is happening, and then placing themselves in the perfect position to answer that makes his ultimate so valuable. We heard it from Destiny in the last interview. This is why teams have been prizing this pick for so long. Oh, Tomkin's getting engaged on.
Good flash from Ignar. Those Merc Treads coming up clutch. And now Stixxay forced a flash. Oh, we still got rooted. Chime looking to try and get them out of the way. Does charm Danny. Ulti down, but Ignar again with the Devour. Disengage ult from Sven, but Viego diving on in. Blazer trying to find a kill, but again, just too safe here. There's now the ulti spot for Impact. He's going to dive on in. There's an ulti out of Solo there, but the culling is massive from Jizuke. Now going to flash it under the tower. My goodness. The man's aggressive. Danny takes out Solo.
EG so ready to have everybody join that fight. That was slick. Multiple members joining up, and they don't lose a single player on that move. They're going to get 2 turrets out of this one. They are just steamrolling this game. Golden Guardians is unable to answer. They're not able to find anybody by themselves. The Tahm Kench disengage was really good, and Chime was forced to use his ultimate defensively. So then there's nobody else to really follow up onto the Rumble equalizer. It starts off with the Stixxay with a nice ultimate. Danny has to wait it out, back off, and then when this route lands, Chime has to re-engage. Sven has popped the Predator boost. He has to keep him away. Yes, you catch out Danny, but a great Devour and a cast splits members apart. They're already flashed away, so Golden Guardians, well, you're not going to go after the Tahm Kench. The engage has already been used on the bot side. Nobody can really catch Jizuke, and that's why he feels comfortable going in. He can back up the rest of the team, and Solo tries to suplex Impact into the lineup, but they just don't have enough damage yet.
That's a little hiding spot from Jizuke, especially on the Cloud Rift. Because he's like hiding in a speed patch, ready to run out at you. Dragon, they're going to go over to Golden Guardian, so they are at least keeping this stack going, but fortunately for them, didn't get the second one, so going to have to go for the 2-1 split, so that soul is pretty far away. Impact, though, not done, as the rest of EG 4-1 right now. Jizuke is just so strong in the top lane.
Look at the farm numbers these guys got. We're going to need to get some stats on how good he's doing, because 220 in under 19 minutes is very high CS numbers.
And again, Devour there for Ignar, but the follow-up is good. Danny is felled. Ignar, oh my goodness, Sven, that ulti was good. But Solo following off. Iconic gonna die to Sven, but what more damage can they do? A Blaze Olive onto Sven will take that down. Impact also will be felled. And Jizuke could not make it in time.
Golden Guardians find the right engage. Again, multiple members are grouped up, and they're able to layer the crowd controls together. The Devour just spit Danny right back into the equalizer, so it doesn't matter that he's inside the belly of Tahm Kench. They got that pick, but there's really nothing of an objective that they can get afterwards. They're so deep into their own side of the map. EG had pushed them out so far away that the value of this pick is just kills and some breathing room for what EG has been doing thus far.
Yeah, look, it's good to get any gold, but still a uphill battle here for Golden Guardians as they do find the angle.
So it's, I believe, Chime and Iconic once again that actually see the opportunity. It starts with a Blaze Olive with a really nice stun, and actually the Varus ultimate keeps Ignar and Danny locked down. A really good cast. But then Jizuke, I like that he sees that this is a lost fight and doesn't even bother going for more. Perhaps you could say, oh, maybe you could stay pushing into the top side, but would rather take the reset and make it back into the mid lane to defend that turret. Keeping EG's mid turret up is critical in maintaining forward pressure against Golden Guardians.
Again, credit to Blaze Olive's Viegos, who watched that one back. Getting that center W into the reset ulti was real clean looking. Make sure that Golden Guardians can get a few more kills. As I said, they're still behind by quite a bit. 5,000 gold down at 20 minutes. Still a rough spot to be in, but Golden Guardians at least understanding that, you know, they're getting something back here.
I mean, I think Jizuke is at 12 CS per minute right now, which is, I mean, that's record numbers. Like, that is really as fast as you're going to get. That's Chovy numbers of farming. So he is really just so powerful right now. The bounty, yeah, it's 600 from some kills, but the CS and experience that he has over the rest of the lineup is huge. He's 5 levels up on Chime. If he tries to engage onto Jizuke, a few double taps and he's out.
All right, well, Jizuke continuing to play the side lane as expected. Blaze Olive can add to that. Now Chime, oh goodness, the level 9 Rakan is very fragile. Jizuke wants blood, but will not find any. Solo slowed by Danny, though. Gonna have to stride breaker away from the incoming Q by Sven, as Golden Guardians still have to play defense for quite a while here.
Yeah, they have to have somebody to the sidelines when EG wants to split up. Who's going to deal with Jizuke when he goes on the side? Solo and the Blaze Olive by themselves really can't handle him at the moment, especially when you count in that Impact can always assist from really far away. The level 2 ultimate is enough to cover the distance between just 2 lanes. And so as long as Impact stays within a lane's distance of Jizuke, those 1v1s will always turn into a 2v1 in EG's favor.
All right, well, it looks like EG are resetting, so I have a little bit of time. And with that, Crumbs, I request an update.
Okay.
How many souls?
I tell you, I have not been seeing them just yet, but I am waiting patiently for Senna to be clicked on right now. I'm keeping my eyes on the bottom left. You too can keep your eyes on the bottom left at home.
Grudge.
Here we go.
Roll Jizuke. Interesting third item. I think that's the first time I've seen that on Illusion.
I like
it a lot on Ezreal.
I like it. It works with the Cole. You slow them down, and it gives you the armor penetration that you want. So there's plenty of value. I think it's pretty decent. There's a lot of armor right now, but not that much, right? It's really mostly Solo that's really stacking it right now. There will be the Zanyas from the Iconic, but it's not like it's crazy amounts of armor, and there's not a lot of HP stacking. So I think